Hey YouTube, MusicMan1310 here, and I have not done a team building video in a long time, so I'm gonna break that now. I'm gonna go based off of my roles to a pro team series, or roles of a pro team, excuse me. Either way, link is on the screen, and now tell you how each of those roles work together, as well as what could happen if you have too much of one particular role. Just a little footnote here, I got this video idea based off of another video where I heard someone rant about not playing the objective in objective-based game modes like Hardpoint, Uplink, Domination, Momentum, Surge, etc. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that people do like to be a Slayer to the point where objective work is completely foreign to them. So, after watching some MLG pros, both from the player's perspective and the spectator's perspective of course, these are the roles that are the most important to work on as a team. Objective being the most important, Slayer second most, support is still pretty important, but it's just not as important as the other two. Hear me out on this one. Like I said, objective is the most important role anyone can take on. Sometimes teams have one person that takes on that role while everybody else slays, but in cases like Optic Gaming and Team Phase, where everybody's potentially a Slayer, everyone also plays that objective role. In the case of esports, every single game mode has some sort of objective, whether it's holding a point on the map, blowing up or defending a bomb site, or scoring points by playing as close as you can like basketball. It doesn't matter what role you take, part of getting a win is being able to play around the objective. If you're an objective player, then that's easy. It becomes less easy the more unfamiliar the objective is to you. A few tips that I have for playing the objective, and even for playing around the objective, is to first pay attention to the map. For at least one game, worry about playing the objective role and keep map awareness. The key things you should look for are where do those objective points show up. For Search and Destroy and Uplink, the objective points are stationary, so in those cases, the bomb or the satellite would move depending on who was the last to pick it up. So keep track on which teammate had it last and where they died or tossed it, in the case of Uplink. Hardpoint is a different story. In Hardpoint, the objective has 5 different locations on the map that cycle twice. That's probably going to change in Black Ops 3 to 4 when I play the beta, but either way, the first cycle is a little harder to figure out, but once the second cycle starts, it's easier to know where the hardpoint shows up. To play the objective in Hardpoint, knowing when to leave the current hardpoint and set up for the next hardpoint is key. Usually that key is roughly at the 15-second mark. Once you know how the objective works, it becomes super easy to play around the objective, especially if you're a Slayer. It's fun when the people outslay everybody else, and don't get me wrong, especially in the most ridiculous manners, because it shows their gun skills, as long as they're not camping in a corner. However, there is a fine line between straight up camping and holding an area of the map. Camping usually refers to staying in the same spot without moving. So, to put that in perspective, a corner camper stays in the corner, of a room or map, because that way they can see everyone else and no one can sneak up behind them. As an added bonus, they would then always aim down their sights, which makes it that much harder to 1v1 them because they would have first shot on you almost always. The Slayers who hold an area of the map, however, are different because they are always moving around the area and risking getting shot from behind. The key difference is that people who successfully hold an area always check every possible way in and pre-aims or pre-fires if they see an enemy approaching. This is different from camping because, like I mentioned before, they're getting risk from getting shot from behind, which can and does happen despite contrary beliefs. In the case of Uplink, usually the best area to hold down is the area that the satellite respawns in. Next best area would be your opponent's base. If your team holds those 2 spots down, your opponents won't spawn in your base, and they won't be spawning anywhere near the satellite spawn, which gives your team more than enough room to get a few easy points. In Search and Destroy, the best areas to hold down are the ones overlooking the bomb site. As a team, it's best to know which bomb site to go to if you're attacking. If you're on the defense, it's best to find an area that overlooks one of the bomb sites and has an easy route to the other in case your team needs help. I'm saying this generally because every map is different. So if you think that being at one place and one map works for all the maps, then you're in for a rude awakening. In Hardpoint, it should be obvious by now that the best area to hold is the Hardpoint area. By most Hardpoint areas, slayers who use assault rifles normally shine at keeping their opponents away, and people who use subs shine in keeping them off the hardpoint, as well as keeping them down as the team moves to the next hardpoint. At this point, you're probably wondering, how is being a team supporter important at all when everybody else does all the main work? Well, the main purpose of the supporter is to keep map awareness for the team, as well as keeping the team communicating with each other. When it comes to some of the more crucial plays, it's usually the supporter that performs them because they know how to respond from keeping map awareness as well as keeping track of how the opponents perform. The fun part of being a supporter is that if the team needs some objective plays, they can cover. If the team needs more slaying power, they can cover. Think of the supporter as being the most flexible player on the team. The best player to be a supporter are those that are less consistent as a slayer, but somewhat consistent as an objective player. Knowing all this, having a team of purely slayers won't work because there won't be anyone that will want to play the objective. Like I said, purely slayers don't want to work with the objective. Having a team of purely objective players won't work because most objective players aren't the most consistent slayers, which makes it very difficult for them to hold down points. Having a team of purely supporters can work, but most likely won't because of overall consistency issues. Having a team that combines all of these roles in one way, shape, or form is a team that will most likely gets the win, because at that point, you have people that can clear out an area, hold down point, and even fill in for those crucial plays that the team needs to get the win. That's all for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more. Check out my latest video, which is yesterday, if you didn't realize it. Okay. Well, anyways, check out that video. I explained a new schedule that's coming out for my YouTube channel as well as updates. And this is Music Man 1310 signing out. Peace.